The Winfield Sewer Board with the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call. Mike?
Mr. Zach Beaver.
Present.
Mr. Mark Wasnick.
Here.
Mr. Rodney Nagel. Not present. Mr. Nick Bellar.
Here.
Mr. Tony Clark.
Not here.
Not present. Mr. Jeremy Lynn.
Here.
Mr. David Austin.
Present.
And for DLZ, we have Mr. Sean Finney.
Here.
And I am Michael Lambert. Good evening.
Thank you, Michael. All right, first up is public comment. Anybody wishing to speak on an agenda item? Seeing none, we're going to move on to citizens requesting placement on the agenda not related to agenda items. And we have minutes to be approved for August 26th.
Motion we approve the minutes for the Winfield Sewer Board meeting on August 26, 2025.
We have a motion by Mark, and I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. On to staff reports. Jeremy?
Good evening. Have some topics here to discuss and just report on. First of all, obviously the wastewater treatment plant construction, which we've been talking about for the better part of 15 to 18 months, is essentially complete. The contractor is working on some minor punch list items, and we've also requested them to do some additional items that weren't part of the base contract, but something since they're on site, we're asking them to kind of do some minor modifications that really just help out operations in the town. So we're hoping to kind of provide a final kind of last pay request for that reflects those change orders next month. But overall, project is complete. It was really a well-run project between the contractor and the town staff. It was a much better experience that we discussed kind of at our weekly meetings. I think it's just another major project that we have experience with, and obviously town is growing, so we're taking on more complex, more expensive projects, but really a very good experience. Overall, the treatment plant's running well as well, so tonight we'll have kind of a release of the retainage, what we're calling HASI Pay Request number 19, and so we can get to that agenda item on the agenda. Moving on, I prepared.
I got a question. So you're going to bring a change order next month then?
Next month, correct.
Okay.
When the work is essentially finished on the change order work.
Kind of late.
It's something that some of the change order is work that we've already discussed, like painting of the floors and things like that. So a lot of it was like done at staff level. But we'll obviously bring it to you for your approval. Some of it may still be lingering or not. So we wanted to kind of just wrap everything up with one kind of change order instead of bringing you several minor things, if that makes sense. So we just figured that was a cleaner way to kind of, round the project off.
Tony gave the go-ahead on it.
Correct. And myself and Nick talking about kind of,
And Rodney during the
and Rodney as well, yeah.
construction meetings.
So these aren't necessarily large dollar items, but something that is timely now for us as opposed to trying to do them separately after the project's done. So, but I can certainly kind of talk to you about those things ahead of time. I've prepared the MPDS renewal / modification for the new treatment plant capacity. Right now we have 0.8 MGD capacity currently, and now that the project is complete, we're expanding to 1.6 MGD. So I prepared that application, and Zach has signed it, and the town has sent it off for IDEM approval. That approval process takes about 3 to 4 months. So we don't need the whole 1.6 MGD today, but everything all the hard work and construction money we spent, that's, the purpose, right? So we have that capacity for the future. So I'll report back when we get that approval. I'm also reporting now on the overall operation every month of the treatment plant. So I've reviewed utility services report, and then I'm also having a weekly kind of conference call with them, really to kind of improve some kind of just understanding of what's happening day to day, and kind of combine that with my kind of engineering viewpoint on things as the design engineer. And really, I feel like I'm like town staff, more or less. So the last month in August, the average flow at the treatment plant was 0.48 MGD, so which is about half of our 0.8 MGD. So we're around 50% capacity. Or once we get the NPDES permit, we're at 25% capacity. So we have been averaging about 0.4, so we're steadily increasing, which makes sense, right? We have more homes coming online. August is a very dry month, but we're seeing more wastewater flow, so that's makes sense why we're expanding the plant in the manner that we have. Utility services also clean the wet wells for like 9 of the lift stations. That's kind of done twice a year, which they jet out the wet well and clean out, basically the concrete structures in the wet wells. So, and they're still working on some pump issues and things like that. So I'll get a better report next month of resolution of that. Overall, the treatment plant has been meeting the discharge limits. So everything's been running well. We also resolved one of the issues that's been kind of lingering out there with the non-potable water system. So I was happy to kind of report that that's back and running as normal. So the other item to discuss here is I prepared a proposal for overall operation and maintenance manual for the wastewater treatment plant and the lift stations. Now that we have gone through the 2 expansions, the old treatment plant was kind of a conglomeration of X's and O's, and and now that we have basically a brand new treatment plant, what I'm proposing is to write kind of a manual that really goes step by step of 1, what do we have, 2, why do we have it, 3, how to operate it, and then 4, how we maintain it for the next 20 years, right? So treatment plant and any new piece of wastewater treatment plant equipment is good for 20 years. After that, halfway we have to start planning on either replacements or, the town kind of changes, so we adapt. But the O&M manual is really there for anyone new coming into town, that here's the knowledge, here's why we made all these decisions, and here's how to operate the treatment plant. So I prepared an outline. There's a lot of things that go into the O&M manual. There'll be schematics, all the drawings, all our inventory, all the recommended spare parts, really the process, why we're doing it, and really the IDEM kind of regulations that go into it. So I believe that proposal will take probably 5 months for me to complete. There's a lot of things to do. Also, I'm going to do a complete inventory of our lift stations, and then really kind of do another assessment on the lift stations. So we really have a nice kind of roadmap of, hey, when we do some more wastewater planning down the road, we'll say, hey, here's kind of our priority list of things that we need to do. A lot of times we do things as an emergency, but now we'll have to be able to use that kind of more of a planning tool, but also really as kind of our handbook, for wastewater overall in the town.
I think I appreciate the update, Jeremy. I think you guys, the manual will be good. The future planning will be good.
Mm-hmm.
As staff and our engineers and our contractors, not so much on our end, but you guys have done a great job managing the project,
Appreciate it.
advising us, coordinating, doing all that, the hard work. I don't know if you know the answer to this, but do you know how many communities are without sewer capacity in Lake County area?
Without sewer capacity?
Or without meaningful capacity. I mean, the ability, I think it's, I guess what I'm getting at is I think it's impressive that Winfield,
Oh, absolutely.
for years, before me, before a lot, you guys have been working on some of this stuff diligently for years, and we're kind of just seeing this now 4 or 5 years later.
Right.
And that has been an ongoing process. And I don't think a lot of communities are in the position we are. And so I don't know if you have a take on that, or,
Yeah, the challenge of having wastewater treatment capacity is one that faces every municipality, whether it's Indiana, Illinois, anywhere. And really, because a treatment plant project you can't do one overnight and create that capacity. So you have to have that foresight, and also really kind of, and the town has had the funds to fund 2 major projects. So all of these things have to come together in a you know, cost-effective and quick manner that makes sense for the town. And Winfield has done a phenomenal job of that. I've seen towns that struggle with old facilities that now then they have to expand, and you know, what do we do with this old treatment plant, and then they have to build new infrastructure. And we've done a little bit of that, but really we have something that's going to last for a very long time. And I think we really just set it up really well through the 2 expansions. And if we have to expand down the road, we have a plan for that too. So Winfield is in a really nice spot because I think that's really attractive to not only the residents in town, because one, the rates are very reasonable, and then also you have, you know, be able to attract development. And, you know, as a town of Winfield size, it's a really prime position, so.
Yeah, and I think it's a testament to you know, what you guys have done, the staff, the contractors. You know, Hassie's been doing a great, from what I understand, they've been doing a great job. They have a good reputation, and I'm glad to see all these years of work kind of unfolding into something where now Winfield is set up for years to kind of manage our development instead of, you know, everybody wants to be able to flush the toilet and have it work. And so I'm just glad that that's where we are, and I'm glad that, like you said, having the foresight as a community to pre-plan that stuff so that we're not behind the curve like other communities tend to be. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the hard work you guys have put in, Nick. I mean, all of you, it's everybody, and I appreciate Hassie. And so, yeah, that's all I wanted to offer that.
You said you've got the proposal to somebody now? Or?
Yeah, I sent it to Nick today.
Okay.
It's
So-
in your book. It's under,
Yep. Oh, yeah, yeah, right.
Actually, I have it right here now. Now that I asked the question.
Right.
I have it. I was, looked at it, I thought it was the, okay, never mind. Okay.
All right.
did you want to take action on the proposal or take action next month?
We could probably take action now, right?
Yeah, Jeremy's proposal is $50,000 to put together the O&M manual.
I just take a gander, see what we're providing, but yeah, it would make sense to just get on with it.
Yeah, a big thing, like, as I described, you know, we're going to talk about the wastewater treatment plant process, why we chose this technology, the equipment, how it's controlled, and what the, you know, standard control settings are. So if you, for whatever reason, if the town had a new operator come in or utility service had a new operator come in, they have immediate training right there to understand. Or if they forget something, like, hey, wait a second, what did the engineer mean by this? They can go back to the manual and say, okay, let me set it back to square one if something happened. We also are going to talk about what if something happens in the plant, if there's a plant upset. What are some of the key things to do? Really, chemicals that are stored on the plant, you know, the town should know how much normally should be stored, our vendors and things like that. So it's really kind of complete housekeeping way of doing it. So there's a lot of work to do. I'm describing it like, you know, very positively, but I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot to do.
Yeah. Well, you need the continuity. I mean, the reality is you need the continuity because none of us are going to be here forever. And
Yeah.
the plant will hopefully outlive all of us in terms
Absolutely.
of service here. So I think.
And it's really a requirement, even on the MPDS renewal form, they ask if you have an O&M manual, so.
But in terms of the operating procedures, you'll include kind of non-standard operation, like I've got one clarifier out,
Correct?
that sort of thing, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
That'll help with
I,
getting things right when we need to change the flow and stuff like that.
yeah, and you don't want the operator to guess, so I'm going to make my suggestions of, hey, turn this, you know, turn this off and turn that on, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that will be our policy. You know, the operator is going to have their expertise as well. I'm not saying that, but I mean, we need to have some sort of roadmap.
Right. Well, yeah, then you've got a question to ask when they don't follow the problem.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, then-
exactly.
Yeah, then we know, or like if no one's around and Tony and his staff are there, then we're like, okay,
Right.
we have something to refer to, right? So,
Yeah, yeah, that's good if it does include some of the non-standard,
mhm.
like I say, ways that we'll operate and that sort of thing. A motion to go ahead and approve the Lintech to go forward with creating the operating and maintenance manuals for the new sewer plant and lift station system.
We have a motion by Mark, and I'll second. All those in favor?
I should probably add the price. And the 50. Yeah, for $50,000. A second.
We have,
Or I motioned it, I can't second it.
he's amended his motion, and I will amend my second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. On to,
Mr. President,
sir.
I just have a couple comments.
Yes, please.
It relates to what Jeremy and you were just talking about. You really need to feel good about what tonight brings you in a public meeting. 12 or 13, in fact, I'm looking around the room trying to figure out who was here, but I think Mark Wachnick was here, and I think Dave Anderson was here, and myself. We're the only ones still standing. And the first day on the job for that new group of councilmen was hearing from Councilman Don Sandberg, who was in the middle of a ditch that was discharging raw sewage in his waders. And he called everybody from that spot. That's where this all started. And the foresight to take the ball, pick it up, and go with it, and not stop. That's what's important about it. Picking up the ball is one thing, not stopping until you get to the finish line. Jeremy, how long have you been working on this project?
For the past 5 years for wastewater treatment plant for the town.
You had to get to that point because it wasn't ready to get to Jeremy. So the foresight, the leadership of the community leaders is to be commended and should be noted, should be celebrated. Because you're right, Zach. A lot of places, and we know some of them, and they're nowhere near where this town is in handling these matters and providing these services to the folks. So, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that, dude. I think you're right. I mean, like you mentioned, this predates many of us. But I think that's a trend of Winfield generally, is that we just figure it out, you know, and we make it work and have foresight and try to plan some of this stuff. And that hasn't always been the case, but, you know, things are, that, you know, I think historically that has carried.
This is a modern community. It's like Phoenix
Right.
risen. It's coming out of the ground and people want to be here.
Right. People forget, I mean, I think a lot of, to your point, I think a lot of people forget that Winfield's 32 years old and not 150 years old. And so a lot of this has been started from scratch to get to where we are. And to me, that's highly impressive. I mean, anytime the reporters ask, I tell them about the sewer plant because, you know, this goes back 4 years ago when we first started the last expansion, because I think it's exciting that that stuff's happening, and I don't think it gets a lot of attention, but
That goes to quality of life, and that's
Yeah.
why people come to your town.
exactly.
So, thank you for a couple of comments.
Thanks, Dave. All right, on to new business. Who's got that one?
This is application 19 that I kind of referred to initially. So on the agenda, the remaining retainage is actually $507,201 that HASI is requested to release. So we've been holding this retention since 50% completion of the project. And now that we're at the end, they've requested the release of it. So I am fine with the release of the full retention. We were going to hold some money back in case they didn't do a couple things this past month and they had completed them. We still have some minor punch list items, but they're still here to complete some of the change order items that I worked. So if you could.
So your recommendation has changed from 450 to
507,201.
Correct.
Okay, that's in my letter.
Got it.
So that releases all the retainers.
Correct.
Okay. A motion that we approve and recommend to the town council payment of pay application number 19 to Hassie Construction in the amount of $507,201.
We have a motion by Mark, and I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. On to the treasurer's report. Mike?
Good evening. For your consideration, review, and approval, we have 4 pages of claims totaling the amount of $461,179.64. The bulk of which is on the last page, which includes the payments to Haas Construction. Most of everything else is just normal standard monthly fees and costs.
So, yeah, I know Rodney had, I guess he kind of questioned 17, but those applications have been approved, so I'm not quite sure what Rodney had a question about on those.
His question was probably the account that the money was coming from. Since we have expended all of the bond money for the sewer plant expansion, those fees are coming out of the fund which is entitled Sewer Development.
Okay.
And that is going to be the same fund that the $507,201 that you just approved. That'll come from the same fund.
Got it. All right, so help me out. How did he know that?
Because Rodney likes to look at the numbers.
Well, I mean, how do I know that?
Oh, I don't.
Okay. All right. That makes sense then. And then, I know he asked about the utility services one, no one's here from that, but I'm assuming that the, let's see, hold on a second, the cleaning on the lift stations and all that, they brought in a vac truck and hydroblast and all that to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did talk
Is that
to
what that
Sean
was?
last month, prior to them doing the work, that's their standard fee per lift station, I believe, cleaning.
Okay,
And that is the going rate, and it needs to be done, so.
yeah,
According to the invoice, that was for all lift stations. And there was 2 separate days of work.
Okay,
Not just one, that was that at all lift stations.
right, so that's the additional equipment they brought in, and I think whatever company comes in and does it then.
That's my interpretation.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see wrong, anything with that. Well, then I gotta put my 2 cents on Cook Crow. That sure jumped up. I guess, says they're working on, one part of it was a preliminary rate report. Obviously, I know we didn't request it, so is that part of the what? What was it? So it notes on here that, it says that Crow worked on completing preparation for the draft preliminary rate report. I know we didn't request it, I'm assuming somebody did. Was that a request by you, or what's that about?
Yeah, Nick, I don't know if you know if this is
What page is
related.
that on? I'm trying
Yeah, I
to.
don't see it.
It's on
I see
page
it, I see it now.
2, bottom.
That crow at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Let's make sure that wasn't stormwater related.
The last one for sure is ours. The one above it may not, yeah, that's fair.
So you look into that, Mike? then?
I will. I'll look into that.
Yeah, let's pull up that invoice from Crow and just double check that. That's a good point.
It's on the bottom.
You notice there was kind of jumped up this month too, so I'm assuming there's more activity. I guess if I do something about it, I can
Yeah.
agree, but I'm sure you do, Zach, right?
a little bit.
Come on, man, you gotta know more than
No, I know.
All right, so we got a new number. Phone, is that whatever it is? Yeah. Get the answer right that way. Oops, that can't be right.
Are you working out the math, Mark?
I was attempting to, but I couldn't even get that right on my calculator.
All right, well, let's just, we could probably just approve the claims excluding that claim. Can we, David?
I got it again.
Throw it on the next agenda.
Goes to 458, 985.89.
Yep, that's what I got.
Okay.
I think, well, to answer your question though, Mark, the charges for this last one, it's just kind of the maintenance of the ongoing
Yeah.
sewer stuff. The jump is really just related to, more ongoing kind of paperwork, administrative stuff that's happening behind the scenes.
Okay. Then I'll motion we approve the register of claims, or no, I'm sorry, what do we call this thing? Claims, register, claims to pay, for September. Why am I missing page 4? And with the exception of payment to Crow for the $2,193.75, which is approval number 18446, which brings the total to $4,058. Why can't I say that? $4,058.908. $458,985.89. Boy, that was a tongue twister. I don't know.
Well, you added the math and all the stuff on top of it.
No, that shouldn't be.
All right, we have a motion by Mark and I'll second. Pay the claims. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Billing adjustments.
For this month, the adjustments total the amount of $15,325.25. Included in your package, all the accounts where the fees have been adjusted.
I motion we approve the billing adjustments for September 23rd for a negative $15,325.25.
We have a motion by Mark and I'll second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, the motion carries. And our next meeting will be Monday, October 20th. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, we have a adjusted schedule, so it'll be Monday. Second,
Okay.
sorry.